The shouting tore through the hangar like a blade, slicing past the thick air, saturated with oil, sweat, and surrender. "Scrap it! I'm done wasting another minute on this cursed thing," barked the lead mechanic, his patience long buried beneath the wreckage of failed attempts. Tools clattered to the ground in a chorus of frustration. One by one, the crew walked away, defeated, not by war, but by a machine that refused to live again. In the middle of the dimly lit hangar, beneath flickering bulbs and fading hope, the tank sat still, a dead giant, a failed promise. Once a proud beast of battle, now just a hulk of metal, cloaked in disgrace. Officers had inspected it. Experts had theorized. Nothing worked. Nothing clicked. No one remained. Until a figure moved from the shadows. He didn't command attention. He didn't have to. His name was Alan Raw, a man barely noticed by the young bloods in the room. Limping slightly, streaks of grease lining his worn boots, his jacket older than the soldiers themselves, his left hand trembled. A war souvenir. But his eyes didn't waver. They held the quiet defiance of a man who had seen everything and still chose to stay. He placed an old leather bag on the concrete floor. The faded tag barely bore his name. No one stopped to help. No one asked what he was doing. To them, he was just another relic. But legends don't need permission. They said he once rebuilt a dead engine under enemy fire and drove it back through a storm of bullets just to get his men home. They used to call him the Tank Whisperer. Without a word, Raw stepped forward. His hand brushed the battered hull, fingers lingering over a dent left by war, almost like reading a language only he could understand. The smell of rust, diesel, and memory filled his lungs. His mind drifted, not to the present, but to the searing sands of Kandahar, back to the faces, some smiling, some never seen again. The tank had once been their sanctuary, their iron shelter. When it failed, it wasn't just steel that broke, it was trust, and trust, Raw knew, deserved a second chance. No speeches, no orders. He rolled up his sleeves and disappeared inside the lifeless beast. The others laughed under their breath, muttering as they walked out. All but one. Private Lewis. He watched silently, unmoving. His father had told him stories of a man who could breathe life back into machines, a man who turned silence into thunder. Lewis said nothing, but he stayed. Raw's hands worked with memory, not manuals. He listened, not to the creaks of metal, but to the silences between them. Where others saw a mess of wires, he felt a heartbeat waiting to return. His hands danced, the silence deepened, until just before midnight, a spark, a hum, a growl that turned into a roar. The tank awakened, as if an ancient soul had answered its call. Steel shuddered, lights flickered, and then it stood, not in form, but in spirit. The iron shelter had come back to life. Mechanics ran in, jaws slack, disbelief written on every face. The lead mechanic gawked. "How the hell did you?" he began. Raw simply wiped his hands, smirked faintly, and said, "Sometimes you just need to listen to what it's not saying." His words would be whispered in that hangar for years. Lewis stepped forward, heart pounding. "Sir, I think my dad, he told me stories about you." Raw smiled, laying a grease-stained hand on the young soldier's shoulder. "Don't remember me. Remember the ones I brought home." The next morning, the base commander had the tank's name repainted in fresh white. The Iron Shelter. Not just a machine, but a monument. A vow fulfilled. As Alan Raw limped out of the gate, Lewis raised a salute. Not out of duty, but out of awe. The tank growled behind him, ready for a new war, a new generation, alive again. Some heroes don't wear medals. Some victories echo in silence. Some hands don't fix machines, they mend promises. And honor, real honor, never fades. It waits. Before walking away, Lewis whispered the words his father once shared with him. When you see a man like Raw, you stand. If this story moved you, share where you're watching from. Tell us about the silent heroes in your life. Subscribe to Stories for more tales of quiet courage and legacy reborn.